Hello, VC. This is Beatleman69, and I know it's been a long time since I had any kind of videos made. Um, so that being said, I got a few records here I've collected over a couple months, and I'd like to share with you my thoughts on the Beatles One Deluxe Edition. So that being said, one of the albums I had picked up was Wings' Greatest, the first pressing. It's one of the thrift store digs I found. Original inner sleeve. It's kind of coming apart, but secondhand albums. What are you gonna do? And the original label. I had the CD version of this, and there was a poster inside. Surprised they hadn't been all tore up or thrown away. It's kind of big. I get it all in there. And on the back side has this. Secondly, I found this at a hole-in-the-wall record store in Montgomery, Alabama, about 80 miles from here. Surprised to find that he didn't have a lot of Beatles stuff. He had a lot of records, just not a lot of Beatles stuff. I really had to look for what I found, and I found this gem. This is the UK pressing of Rock and Roll Music Volume 2. Still in the shrink wrap. As you see, I am not sure what pressing this is. I don't know if it's subsequent pressing or what. I don't have no idea. But it was a nice find anyway. The Parlophone. The record looks really great shape. I ain't ashamed to say, I gave him $18 for it. I know it's a little steep, probably, but it's an import, so you're gonna pay a little bit. I'll worry about that later. And the final album, Tug of War, my third copy, but this one is a promo. But the only thing is, I don't know what variations of promos there are. There's a white promo label and whatnot, but this seems to be just a standard Columbia label. So I don't know. It has promo stamped on the cover, but it don't have it written on the label. So I mean, it may very well be a promo. This very well might be the original record. Just going by what it says. Okay, that's all the vinyl I got. Okay, I finally broke down and bought this. I've only watched the disc one with the number one hits. on it. I haven't seen the bonus disc yet, or I haven't listened to the CD yet out of this. Um, my opinion on it, it did a pretty good job. Um, I know me and Mr. Mayo had pointed out that some of their early videos on this DVD were kind of grainy. Uh, Joe, all I can say is that they are grainy because they're grainy on my TV. So I don't know. It could have just been the quality of the video. When they enhanced it, they might have just picked up all that graininess in the off the original film, and there was nothing they could do about it. Overall, though, they did a pretty good job of restoring the videos. See, do I have any complaints? Let's see here. Do I have any complaints? Outside of them using the Yellow Submarine and Eleanor Rigby footage from the Yellow Submarine film, which was a little bit out of place for 1966, but that's all they had. I live with it. I don't really have any complaints. Okay, I don't know. I haven't seen the bonus disc, so I may be wrong about this. But when they used the Get Back version off the rooftop, I think they ad-libbed it a little bit. I think they did. Maybe doctor it some to fit the single version. And I think other people might feel this way too. Come Together. No, I think they could have done better. It's kind of really, it is kind of, I realize they don't have a footage for that song because they never made one. But I think they could have patched something together with some live, a live of them playing, in a studio or whatever. Or they could have, at least if they were going to cartoon it, they should have had them kind of like the Guitar Hero and just show them playing the song, even though it was animation, instead of having all that craziness in the in the video that they made. Oh yeah, Let It Be. Now, I got a boot of the Let It Be movie. In the film, when Paul McCartney's singing Let It Be, in the song Let It Be, he has alternate lyrics for the film version where he says, for there will be no sorrows, let it be. But in here, it's coming off the Let It Be film, they got him singing, for there will be an answer, let it be. Now I understand the film version was not released with them alternate lyrics commercially, but I think they doctored it so they have the single version as it was released. I think they ad-libbed it somehow, and also in that footage from Let It Be, there's different angles during that sequence because, like I said, I've seen the Let It Be movie. You could probably find the Let It Be being performed on YouTube from the film, and there were different angles showing Ringo's face up close, showing George. Now, this I hadn't noticed, but it's showing George puffing on a cigarette in the background, and blowing his cigarette smoke. Now, I didn't notice that in the film, but I may have just overlooked it. But there were some angles they showed in that footage I hadn't seen in the Let It Be film, so I don't know. The Long Winding Road, I'm glad they kept to the dignity of the stripped-down version from the film and didn't try to overdub the horns and stuff like that. They kept it stripped down. Um, Outside of that, I don't really have no complaints. The book on the inside is real informative. It tells you all the things to know about the each video, when it was released and whatnot. Um, I enjoyed Rain and Paperback Writer. Those were really good. There's alternate versions of those videos. I think there's a black and I want to say black and white. There's a black and white version that was released back in 1966. I think they sent to Ed Sullivan. I guess they weren't touring no more. They didn't want to go all the way over there to make an appearance, so they sent them, them singing it, and it was a black and white version of it, and whatnot. But it may be on the disc too. I don't know, because I hadn't seen disc 2 yet. But when I do, I'll just make another video and let y'all know about disc 2 and how it turned out. But overall, though, I think they really did a pretty good job. To really be honest with you, I think they, really put their heart into it. And according to this, this is 8 years. It took 8 years to make this. So I mean, this is a treasure of 8 years worth of work in this. And I went and got this because instead of getting that DVD or just a standard DVD. Now, if I was going to get it, I was going to do it right, because all the information and the bonus DVD and plus this extra CD of all the #1 hits remastered. So yeah, this is a must for any hardcore Beatles fan, or just just a what do you want to call it, a general Beatles fan that just likes the music, but not a hardcore one like myself. But yeah, this is a good piece of work right here. I mean, they did a pretty good job. I mean, outside of them making a cartoony come together video, which personally I think they could have done better. But overall, they did a pretty good job. I'll give them that. And I'd like to say too, this is December 8th, 2015, and everybody knows this was the 35th anniversary of John Lennon's assassination by that psychotic maniac. It's a shame, but it is what it is, and we can always reminisce and go back and listen to his solo work and his Beatles work, and just enjoy what he left us with. So that's all I have to say about that. But I will say, when John Lennon was shot, I was 11 years old. I didn't even know who John Lennon was. I was just a little kid. I wasn't exposed to the Beatles or anything, so I didn't know who he was. I just remember hearing about it, but didn't know much about who he was. So I probably didn't impact me as much as a lot of you out there that were older, were into the Beatles, into music, that were a lot older, and it affected y'all differently. I can only go back and and look at it, but a lot of you witnessed it, or really knew about what he was about and stuff firsthand before I would have, since I was only 11 at the time. But I also like to say it's kind of creepy, and a lot of y'all know this, but I'm just going to mention it. In 1974, he came in the press box during Monday Night Football and was chatting with Howard Cosell and whatnot, and I saw this on YouTube, and he asked John, will the Beatles ever get back together? And John's reply was, it's in the wind. And then 6 years later, when he was assassinated, Howard Cosell had to announce that John Lennon had been shot. So, it's kind of weird, how things work out. You know, you know, it's just kind of spooky, I guess you could say. I mean, I don't see how you call that a coincidence. It could have happened on Sunday afternoon football, or Howard Cosell may not have been announcing the game then because he worked for ABC. So ABC then had the Monday Night Football, unlike now, ESPN's got it. Of course, Howard Cosell, he's gone too. But I'd like to say that John left us with a treasure of music and a legacy. It's just too bad he didn't record more after 1975. Didn't do any music between 75 and 80 to leave us with more. But he didn't. He decided to go and be recluse for a while, and maybe that's what he needed. Just to get away from the music industry and try to live a sensible life. So I mean, he really can't blame him though. Maybe that's how he felt. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap the video up. I'm rambling. Appreciate y'all watching. I'll make another video after I get done watching Disc 2 and let you know my opinions on that. So for now, Beatleman signing off. And like Ringo Starr would say, where am I at here? Peace and love.